had soldiers like mine. I'm not alone, I'm not alone, I'm not alone, I'm not alone. My body's broken, my heart is torn, my body's broken. I'm not alone, I'm not alone, I'm not alone. Oh, look in the distance, here comes Habib. He's left everything to be with me. And when I pray in the battlefield, look as Sa'id becomes a shield. I swear it by each arrow in his chest that each of my soldiers is the best. I swear it by each arrow in his chest that each of my soldiers is the best. I'm not alone, I'm not alone, I'm not alone, I'm not alone. My body's broken, my body's broken. I'm not alone, I'm not alone, I'm not alone, alone. My body's broken, my body's broken. Oh, look at the valor of my youth. Look at this army of 72. Each one in my love is fully blind. Each claims to be standing first in line. And Hur will leave you just as he can. And Hur will leave you just as he can. But no one left the side of Hussein. And Hur will leave you just as he can. But no one left the side of Hussein. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. My body's broken, my heart is torn. My body's broken, my heart is torn. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. My body's broken, my heart is torn. My body's broken, my heart is torn. I'm not alone. And sure there will come a time to pass when each of them will have breathed their last. And sure there will come a time to pass when each of them will have breathed their last. And at that moment I'll draw my sword. The son of Haydar fights for his Lord. All of creation has now been shown. All of creation has now been shown. Soldiers of God are never alone. Soldiers of God are never alone. I'm not alone, I'm not alone, I'm not alone, I'm not alone. My body's broken, my heart is torn. My body's broken, my heart is torn. I'm not alone, I'm not alone, I'm not alone, I'm not alone. My body's broken, my heart is torn. My body's broken, my heart is torn. I'm not alone, I'm not alone, I'm not alone, I'm not alone. My body's broken, my heart is torn. My body's broken, my heart is torn. I'm not alone, I'm not alone, I'm not alone, I'm not alone. My body's broken, my heart is torn. My body's broken, my heart is torn. I'm not alone, I'm not alone, I'm not alone. alone. My body's broken, my heart is torn. My body's broken, my heart is torn. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. My body's broken, my heart is torn. My body's broken, my heart is torn. I'm not alone. I'm not alone. Since when was I ever alone? I led the greatest army known, and every soldier that I command has placed his life squarely in my hand. And this is my testament to time. No one ever had soldiers like mine. And this is my testament to time. No one ever had soldiers like mine. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. My body's broken, my heart is torn. My body's broken, my heart is torn. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. I'm not alone. Oh, look in the distance, here comes Habib. He's left everything to be with me. And when I pray in the battlefield, look as Sa'id becomes a shield. I swear it by each arrow in his chest that each of my soldiers is the best. I swear it by each arrow in his chest that each of my soldiers is the best. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. My body's broken. My body's broken. I'm not alone. I'm not.
أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد والثناء لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Brothers and sisters, respected Shaykh Usama, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. On behalf of the Light of Guidance, we welcome everybody to another night of the Muharram program, a lecture series with respected Shaykh Usama entitled Roots of Righteousness. Inshallah, to begin tonight's program, we welcome our brother Ali Jum'ah to recite from the Holy Quran, Ba'd as-salati ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
صلى الله على محمد وآل محمد. Inshallah, we're going to be reciting verses 1 through 16 of Surah Al-Ankabut if you want to follow along. If you can help me with another salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألف لام ميم
أحسب الناس أن يتركوا أن يقولوا آمنا وهم لا يفتنون ولقد فتنا الذين من قبلهم فليعلمن الله الذين صدقوا وليعلمن الكاذبين أم حسب الذين يعملون السيئات أن يسبقونا ساء ما يحكمون من كان يرجو لقاء الله فإن أجل الله لآت وهو السميع العليم ومن جاهد فإنما يجاهد لنفسه إن الله لغني عن العالمين والذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات لنكفرن عنهم سيئاتهم ولنجزينهم أحسن الذي كانوا يعملون ووصينا الإنسان بوالديه حسنا وإن جاهداك لتشرك بي ما ليس لك به علم فلا تطعهما إلي مرجعكم فأنبئكم بما كنتم تعملون والذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات لندخلنهم في الصالحين ومن الناس من يقول آمنا بالله فإذا أوذي في الله جعل فتنة الناس كعذاب الله ولئن جاء نصر من ربك ليقولن إنا كنا معكم أوليس الله بأعلم بما في صدور العالمين وليعلمن الله الذين آمنوا وليعلمن المنافقين وقال الذين كفروا للذين آمنوا اتبعوا سبيلنا ولنحمل خطاياكم وما هم بحاملين من خطاياهم من شيء إنهم لكاذبون وليحملن أثقالهم وأثقالا مع أثقالهم وليسألن يوم القيامة عما كانوا يفترون ولقد أرسلنا نوحا إلى قومه فلبث فيهم 1000 سنة إلا 50 عاما فأخذهم الطوفان وهم ظالمون فأنجيناه وأصحاب السفينة وجعلناها آية للعالمين وإبراهيم إذ قال لقومه اعبدوا الله واتقوه ذلكم خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون
صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلى على محمد وآل محمد.
أفلح من أعاد الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد. And if we can, inshallah, request from everybody to recite Surah Al-Fatiha for the souls of the shuhada in Palestine and all across the Islamic world, and for the victory, inshallah, of the resistance, and for the destruction of the Zionist regime. If we can recite a Fatiha ba'd as-salati ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So inshallah, just a couple of really quick announcements. There'll be a repeat of the past few days, so I'll just go through them quickly inshallah. After the program and the majlis, there will be the mawkib outside, so brothers and sisters are welcome to stop and grab a snack and something to drink inshallah, and mu'mineen can connect with each other after the program. During the program, there's the children's program going on downstairs in the gym for kids between the ages of 3 to 6 and potentially 7 years old as well. If there are any kids younger than that who need to have some space to move around, the other half of the gym is also available. So that's there as well. There's a nursing room downstairs in the library area. If any of the mu'mineen or mu'minat need to go to that room to take care of any smaller children, they can head down, and if they need directions, they can ask anybody around inshallah. And I believe with that, it's my pleasure and honor to welcome our brother Hassan Salami to recite some poetry. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء وسيد المرسلين حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. Brothers and sisters, respected Shaykh Usama, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It was brought to my attention that a member of the community had a severe injury, and it's possible that they can lose their eye. So inshallah, by the haqq of the face, the blessed face and eye of Abul Fadl Abbas, we pray for his speedy recovery inshallah. بعد الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد. صلي على محمد وآل محمد. Now also ask for another Surah Al-Fatiha on the souls of the shuhada, of the ulama, of the mujahideen fi sabilillah, after a salawat ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Inshallah, we continue to connect the dots and remember that Ashura and Muharram is not a empty ritual or theme, but something that is a paradigm shift. It's an ideological school in which we, inshallah, take from the messages of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam and try to embody them and see them live in action, inshallah, in our day and age. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أبتي ألسنا على الحق يا أبتي ألسنا على الحق قال بلى والذي إليه مرجع العباد قال إذن لا نبالي أن نموت محقين. The most important question to this youth was, are we upon the truth? Yes, my son Hussein said, by Allah, we are on the truth. In that case, my father, then we don't care, and let these corrupt people do what they are going to do. And let us die of the true. A simple statement, yet so profound, so intensely manifesting the realities that when said out loud, we just pass over them and glance. But what was embodied in these few words was a university of knowledge and piety encapsulated in a stance. The very idea that if the truth is being obeyed, nothing else matters to a human being. Not being alive, not being slayed, not being dragged to Sham a slave, that they will give up their children, their siblings, their parents, their life. They will give up everything they have just to do what's right. This idea is what makes the oppressors so afraid of Muharram's nights. It's the idea that they and their darkness lose control over you through the spark of Hussein's light. For when the truth means more to you than anything else, what can they possibly do to get you to obey them? When you can't be bought with wealth, can't be threatened through death or health, can't be manipulated through coercive tactics of stealth, won't give in to threats, not from their horses, not from their jets, not from Yazid or the tyrants today who in his skin are dressed, not from Umayyah, not from the West, not from the sanctions against their economies that are pressed, not from the title of terrorist that these heroes are addressed, not from the propaganda of these fork-tongued governments who are terrified of mere words, symbols, and protest. So even their own citizens they brutalize and arrest because their own people are waking up and to the truth are beginning to attest through God's grace, starting to disobey evil commands at the behest of the corrupt systems who use their citizens as pawns for their military industrial complex that ravages and digests and swallows them whole after their pure souls they infect through their Hollywood industries that the people of the world, including Muslims, were so mesmerized by and impressed. But by the blood of the martyrs has woken us up to this holistic strategy that the Satans of the world have used to infest our minds and souls until the truth can be before our eyes, but we still reject it with the hearts within our chest. These nights are a life vest in the storming ocean of this world's test, to be saved by the ark of salvation. We can't just say labbaik and with our tongues profess if we are not standing with the Hussein of the time and still think the system of Yazid has given this world progress. When they accomplish these things through slavery, genocide, and on the backs of the dispossessed, whose moral supremacy and superiority are self-professed, while to the greatest massacres of humanity they openly confess. Are you impressed by those who have given the Zionists an unlimited supply from their war chest? Do you still believe the ignorant fools who think the people in the Islamic Republic are repressed? Are you impressed by electricity and running water? Are you impressed by those who slaughtered the Prophet's son? Do you still believe the propaganda that Muslims are backward? Do you think the politics of Muawiyah and the US are clever? Who accomplish worldly gains through tactics that Imam Ali and Sayyid Khamenei would never? Do you claim to love Hussein with a worldly success standard? Or are you like Ali al-Akbar and Abbas, the flag bearer, whose success's only unit of measure is if on the truth is our life and death's endeavor? Do you follow? Do you follow the one who teaches us that truth triumphs over life? The one who teaches us that blood triumphs over the knife? The one who teaches us that we must give everything to stand for what is right? 3 times let the oppressors hear our call and hear our allegiance to his name. Our allegiance is to the truth. Our allegiance is to Hussein. Labbaik ya Hussein! Labbaik ya Hussein! لبيك يا حسين صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
Ahsantum. If we can give another loud salawat ala Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. Inshallah, before we welcome our dear and respected Shaykh Usama, one more announcement. I apologize that I forgot before. A few days ago, we had also launched the Muharram fundraising campaign. Inshallah, we're looking to collect $150,000, inshallah. This will go towards things like the paying off the building, remodeling the classroom, updating the school, upgrading the media equipment, as well as subsidizing student scholarships, inshallah, for the Islamic school. This is something that we've mentioned on many occasions before, but inshallah, perhaps the reminder will be beneficial. Alhamdulillah, we were blessed to go over the book Reclaiming the Narrative with Shaykh Usama. And one of the points that the leader made in that book was the explanation of the concept of Quranic infaq, spending in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whether it be money, time, efforts, energy, skill set, whatever it might be. Obviously, we're all limited in what we bring to the table. And so if we want to do infaq in the true Quranic sense of the word, we have to make it targeted spending, and we have to see what truly are the needs of the Muslim ummah, of the Muslim society, and we need to direct all of our wealth and energy and skill set towards the needs of the Muslim society. And as we've mentioned before, it should be abundantly clear by now for any of us who are, inshallah, on the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, living in the belly of the beast, although in reality, unfortunately, the enemy culture has invaded all across the world, but especially here living in the West, it's of the utmost importance that we are educating our own children. As the quote attributed to Malcolm X says, only a fool would let his enemy educate his children. And we would be double the fool if we don't even realize that the public school system is one of the enemies. So inshallah, for our own kids, and even if we don't have children in the school, it would definitely be considered one of those instances of infaq, of targeted spending in the way of Allah, if we are funding Islamic schools and any other Islamic youth initiatives in this community or even in any other community, inshallah. So that's what we're looking to raise money for, inshallah. So that is the Muharram fundraising campaign. Inshallah, with that, it's my pleasure and honor to welcome our dear and respected teacher and scholar, Shaykh Usama Abdulghani, with 3 loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعلى أهل بيت الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين لا سيما بقية الله في الأراضين روحي وأرواح العالمين له الفداء رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. So dear brothers and sisters in Islam, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Alhamdulillah, welcome everybody. Allah has given us the tawfiq to spend another night in the tents of Abu Abdullah and to learn from him. Tonight we want to learn a very important trait. First of all for ourselves, but then after that we want to make sure that we impart this trait to our children who are our responsibility. The trait that we want to learn is called, well, it's going to be 2 things that the leader has put emphasis on. One of them is ideological bravery. We want to raise fearless children, children who are able to stand up to the tawaghit when their test comes. The second trait that the leader also puts emphasis on is this one. You and I want to raise children who aren't afraid of failures. They know that sometimes when you try to do something big, something important, something meaningful, sometimes we make mistakes, sometimes we fall on our faces. What's important is that we don't lose our edge. We don't become gun shy and become afraid of failure. Now, brothers and sisters, if you remember, we're talking about the second 7 years. The second 7 years is the target of these lectures. It's natural that children during the first 7 years, yes, they are afraid of some things. That's natural, that's a good thing. If Allah didn't put that concept of fear in the hearts of small children, they could really hurt themselves. That's a natural thing. The idea that sometimes children are afraid, yes. Sometimes, even in the first 7 years, you and I will notice a child develops an irrational fear. And then yes, we'll help even a child under 7 work through that irrational fear. We'll gently encourage them, we will work with them so that they're able to overcome that irrational fear. But what we're talking about now is the second 7 years, and those children who by 14 will have life skills that will make them an adult. And those children, we're hoping, will inshallah be people who are ideologically brave and aren't afraid of failure. Brothers and sisters, you and I, we've probably seen this a lot, where there are some individuals who, when things get tough, and we admire these individuals, there are some people who are able to stand up for their principles. They don't back down from Islam. And there's many examples. It's not always on the battlefield and Karbala in that way. There are people, and we've seen this all the time, it may happen to us as well, where you and I, there are times, opportunities, where we have to choose between Allah and the dunya. Allah and the dunya. There are some people, let's say for their career, let's say in marriage, let's say in school, right? Allah and the dunya. If I choose Allah from the apparent side, if I choose Allah, I'm going to lose in the dunya. There is an important opportunity. All I have to do is sin. Some people will be like the children of Nabi Yaqub. Remember the story of Nabi Yusuf? Nabi Yaqub and his boys, when they were talking amongst themselves, they had a trait inside them, jealousy. But if you notice, those boys were mu'mineen, and they made a strategic error that many Muslims make. They said, we're going to figure out how to deal with Yusuf, then after that we'll make tawbah. And we'll be good people. Ayat of Quran. We're going to do this. It's wrong, we know it, but it's okay. We'll make tawbah. That's not what it means to be Ashura'i. On the other hand, you'll see other people who will stand for their Islamic principles. They'll be faced with a test, sometimes loss, opportunities taken away from me, the dunya robbed from me if I do the right thing. And these people will say, my principles are more important than everything. I might lose, it might be taken away from me. But some people, you notice, they're able to stand their ground. In Islam, the ability to stand your ground when it comes to your principles, to trust God and believe in the unseen. This is one of those keys that helps us experience Allah's best. Allah has some of His gifts that will only be there for the brave. Allah has special gifts, things that He wants to give people, because Allah wants to give us the good of this world and the hereafter. But some of Allah's gifts are reserved for those who are fearless. There's a beautiful hadith that we have that says, Al-haya'u yamna'ur rizq. Being shy when I shouldn't, being afraid, being nervous, telling myself I can't, talking myself out of my game. Al-haya yamna'ur rizq. Allah had rizq for me. He had special things for me. All I had to do was be brave. Allah was going to open the door. But yes, I had to be brave for a little while. Al-haya yamna'ur rizq. I'm going to tell you guys a story that's not true, inshallah. They said once, there was this man and he was traveling across the seas. This was before you could go by airplane. So this man was going to travel by sea. And when he was going to travel by sea to go across the Atlantic, he saved up all his money, saved up everything until he was able to buy a ticket to go on the ocean liner. But that's all he had the money for. He didn't have money for food. He didn't have money for anything else. So he bought a suitcase and he filled it with cheese and crackers. Now it took 2 to 3 weeks to go from one side of the ocean to the other. So this man was sitting in there and he was eating his cheese and crackers, but he was going to go to America. It was going to be worth it. Now the other people who were on this ship, there was a restaurant, a fancy restaurant with all kinds of food. And this guy would hear everybody else going to the restaurant, rubbing their bellies, talking about how stuffed they were. I'm going to have to go on a diet after I finish this trip. Sometimes they said the man would even lay awake at night, dreaming about the food. But he had to deal with his cheese and crackers. Till finally one of the passengers saw him sitting quietly in the corner, eating his cheese and crackers. And he said, "Sir, why don't you come and have the food?" The man was so ashamed and embarrassed. He said, "I can't afford it. I could just afford the ticket." The man raised his eyebrows. He said, "You kidding me? The food was part of the ticket. It was already there for you." What's the secret? Al-haya yamna rizq. Allah already has it there for me. We see this in business. You and I, we're now raising our children. When we say religious, religious doesn't only mean salah and hijab and khums and zakat. These are all part of being religious. It's also being brave, able to take a chance. The hadith says, this is from our Prophet, "At-tajir al-jaban mahroom." If you have a timid businessman, I can't invest, I can't take a chance, I have to make sure everything's safe. The timid businessman is deprived. On the other side, at-tajir al-jasur, the daring businessman, the person who can take risk, this person, marzuq. Allah has special things for those who are brave, who can take the chance and do the right thing, take a calculated risk. Even politically, you see this. In Gaza, before October 7th, before the Al-Aqsa flood operation, those who were involved in the planning knew that there was a chance if they took on the genocidal state of Israel, there would be a harsh reaction. They could have stayed there in that concentration camp and said, "You know what? Let's play it safe. Let's live a few more years. Or we could be free. We could take a chance. We could go after them. We could break out of the prison camp and trust in Allah." When they trusted in God, when they rose up for the sake of Allah, them and the people of Gaza, we are much, much closer to the liberation of Palestine than we have ever been. Brothers and sisters, some of us have been at this for a long time. The weakness that we see in Israel and the camp of the Yazids of the today, we have never seen this kind of weakness. Some of these things we couldn't have imagined would have happened. That happened through ideological bravery. People who would take a chance, who would trust in God, who would put up with the difficulties. So even politically, we see that this happens. So, brothers and sisters, we're going to now go to Karbala. Going to Karbala, looking for two lessons. The first is how to become fearless. And this is, of course, first of all, for ourselves. Of course, we do have this responsibility to raise soldiers of the Mahdi, so we want our children also to be brave individuals. Part of it, this is just as a reminder, when you and I spent the first 7 years allowing our children to be free, making sure our children felt loved, felt special, when we instead of cracking down on them when they made mistakes or did things that were childish for the first 7 years, when we allowed that to happen, it creates the grounds for this person to be fearless. It's okay for me to experiment. We allow children to learn from their experiences. These kind of children, yes, that's there. So inshallah, we're trying to work on that. One part of it was ideological bravery, and the other part was the willingness to make mistakes. The leader talks about this as well. I can try, I can start an initiative, I can lead a small project, I can make an attempt, and I can be brave. And if I fall on my face, if I fall on my sword, I don't go to pieces. We're going to try and learn both of these lessons from Karbala. Now, brothers and sisters, if you remember, the story of Karbala was a calculated risk. Karbala, brothers and sisters, it was not the case that Imam Hussein went to get by his blood. I'm going to go, I'll be killed, but when I lose my blood, then the government of Muawiyah will collapse. That wasn't the case. It was a calculated risk. And if the Muslims had done their jobs, Imam Hussein could have been victorious. To the extent that time, right, and I'm just going to give you, these are just reminders for us, but just, again, the idea that if you were there in Ashura, it was a calculated risk. It could go south. Some were brave and made it. When it came to Imam Hussein, even if Imam Hassan had been able to live until the time of Imam Hussein, the time for a qiyam and an uprising would have been there. In the beginning of Muawiyah's rule, it wasn't clear to people just how wicked he is. It's different than the time of Yazid. Once Yazid comes around, it's naked aggression. It's outright kufr. Like Netanyahu in Israel right now. Right? The whole world can. You have to be an insane person not to identify with the Palestinians. Doesn't even matter if you have a deen. Truth on one side, falsehood on the other side. In the time of Imam Hussein, Yazid was like that, so the grounds are ready. What else was there? There were several points, and you guys remember this. This is now just us reminding ourselves of the story. There were several points where if just the Muslims had done their responsibility, history could have changed. Several times. Several times. A lot of people, all they had to do was be brave, stay with the Imam, the course of history could have been changed. From individuals, and we've talked about some of them. Shurayh. If you remember, brother, we talked about this before. Muslim ibn Aqil has come, that champion. 18,000 make bay'ah. Hani is captured. Hani has a tribe. His tribe comes to the door of the Darul Imara. Shurayh, one individual. Be brave, Shurayh. The river knocked the door down. Shurayh said, Hani's okay. One example. Muslim ibn Aqil, even if the 18,000 didn't do anything, the 4,000, if they supported the Imam, everything could have gone the other way. There's 50 guys inside. Doesn't happen. I talked about Taw'a the other day. If at the time when they came to arrest Taw'a, if somebody had come to the assistance of Muslim, even 100, if Imam Hussein had made it to Karbala, to Kufa, he could have easily taken Basra, from Basra to Sham. So that was all possible. What happened? Weakness. Weakness is what happened. People weren't able to take these chances. So, a couple of reminders. If we want to heal, brothers and sisters, we go back to Quran and Sunnah. We go back to the ahadith of Ahlul Bayt. One of the ways that ulama tell us, they say if you want to develop an akhlaqi trait in yourself, one of the things that you need to do, one of the steps, is to simply read the words of the Ahlul Bayt. Read their words about the various traits. That will create in you the desire to acquire the traits. How bad is it to be a coward in Islam? Let's say I pray, I fast, hijab, everything, but I'm a coward. How bad is that? Imam Ali tells us, he says, "Ihdharul jubun." Beware of cowardice. فَإِنَّهُ عَارٌ. It is a source of shame, brothers and sisters. If somebody has identified that one of my spiritual diseases is that I'm not brave, he says, فَإِنَّهُ عَارٌ وَمَنْقَسَ. It's a defect. There's something wrong with the person. Something, my relationship with Allah is not as it should be because I'm a coward. As we learned the hadith the other day, I have to admit there's a problem. Why is it I won't do what I know is right? At least if I can admit to God, admit to Abu Abdullah, the problem is I'm a coward. That's what it is. Allah can take our hand. It's so bad, brothers and sisters. We're told, even we're talking about consultation the other day, the idea that inshallah from 7 we'll be consulting with our children, getting them used to think. Cowardice is so bad. We're told in a hadith of Ahlul Bayt, don't consult with a coward. You want to do something, you're going to make a plan. You know this person who's going to give you advice, they're a coward, they're a dream crusher. Don't even consult with the person. Hadith. The Imam says this, Amirul Mu'mineen, لا يشركن في رأيك جبانا. Never seek the advice of a coward. Why? يضعفك عن الأمر. One of the things a coward will do is the sense that you can make it. I am capable with Allah's help. He will make you feel weak. The coward will talk you out of your game. I'm a coward. I'll talk you out of your game. You're capable. I will make you feel weak because I'm weak. Because that's how we see the world. The hadith continues. It says, وَيُعَظِّمُ عَلَيْكَ مَا لَيْسَ بِعَظِيمٍ. Something that isn't a big deal. Something that you're capable of. You can do this. It's not a big deal. The coward, because of their mentality, their weakness, will tell you, it's too big, sit down, relax. The coward can talk the mu'min or mu'mina out of their game. I can be complete. And for us, the biggest thing, and I mentioned this hadith before, this fear, if we don't break this idol of fear of other than Allah, this, brothers and sisters, is holding back the return of the Mahdi. This is a hadith now. ما سلط الله على ابن آدم إلا من خافه ابن آدم. Allah doesn't put in charge, doesn't put tasallut, doesn't give authority to anyone over the son of Adam, illa, except the person who we fear. If we're afraid of the Tawaghit, we're afraid of the Netanyahus, we're afraid of the deep state, anyone other than Allah, that person, Allah will then put us in charge of us. What happens if I start to only fear Allah? If it becomes something, not only I am like that, I make sure nobody else panics. Just like Shaykh Qasim said, don't you panic, don't let anybody else panic. What happens if we stop being afraid, stop being sniveling cowards before these zalimeen? If we do that, وَلَوْ أَنَّ ibn Adam, if it were the case that the son of Adam, لَمْ يَخَفْ إِلَى اللَّهِ, the person wouldn't fear anyone but God. In that case, مَا صَلَّتَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ غَيْرَهُ, God wouldn't put anyone but himself in charge. The Mahdi would be here. It's in us. It's in us. So, brothers and sisters, I want to remind us of both things in Karbala. Both the idea of someone who wasn't afraid of mistakes, who didn't fall apart, who would still try, who wouldn't get gun shy, and the ideological bravery. Both of these lessons, we want to see them in Karbala. Brothers and sisters, fighting with the Imam on your side, meaning let's say you had started in the caravan, and then you were with your Imam, and your Imam is making dua for you, and he's the one who's encouraging you. That's one kind of bravery. There's another bravery when you wake up after the battle is over and you're all alone. One of the original 72 was Suwaid bin Amr. Original 72. Suwaid bin Amr mentioned, he got permission from Abu Abdullah. He was fighting, but you're fighting an army of 30,000 people. He fought and he fought and he fought. This is the good old days. Swords, weapons, wounds. He fought so ferociously that finally this man collapsed. He had been beaten so much, there's literally no energy left in this man, and he falls. The enemy actually thought he had died. When he comes to, Karbala's over. Suwaid doesn't even have a sword left. One man versus 30,000. He woke up. Imam Hussein's been killed. Suwaid took out his knife and went after the enemy. There's another man. He set out from Basra, Hafhaf bin Muhannad. He came and he was racing to get to Karbala. One man by himself, trying to make it, trying to save his Imam. Hafhaf was racing to get to Karbala from Basra. By the time he got there, the tents were on fire. He arrived late. Hafhaf looked around, he saw the tents burning. He said, "Where is Hussein?" They said, "You're late, Hafhaf. You see, they're tearing apart the tents." Hafhaf said, "My name is Hafhaf. I'm here to defend the army of Yazid. I'm ready." And he lit into them. One man versus 30,000. The Imam's dead. Hafhaf didn't give up. Imam Sajjad said, after the bi'athah of the Prophet, from that time, since Ali ibn Abi Talib, no one saw anyone as ferocious as Hafhaf faces the army of Yazid. One man. So ideological bravery at its peak, yes, Karbala. We ask Abu Abdullah for that bravery when we get our chance. So that's one lesson. But again, Karbala, you can examine it from so many ways. Another lesson, not only the ideological bravery, the ability to not be dissuaded if I make a mistake. If I try my best and it doesn't work out, do I fall apart? Do I say, well, then I'm worthless, I'm no good, I fell on my face in front of everybody? Do I stop? Do we raise our children like this? It's okay. You make a mistake, that's all right. You did the right thing. You tried. The rest is in Allah's hands. Karbala now. A man who teaches us this lesson is a man named Zuhair bin Qayn. His story is very interesting, brothers and sisters. Zuhair bin Qayn was a man who wasn't even Shia. You've heard the story. Imam sends a messenger to him. His wife, he was trying to avoid it. His wife is the one, Abu Abdullah sent you a messenger. Go talk to him. He talks, he's a changed man, he leaves, he goes and joins the camp of Abu Abdullah. Now, Zuhair, this is also important. Zuhair was an influential member of the community. He was a businessman. He was a noble. Now he's a new guy. He's a rookie. He's in the camp of Abu Abdullah. Was Zuhair afraid to try? No. Was Zuhair afraid to give his opinion, to try and help the cause? Not at all. Sometimes Zuhair would give suggestions and it wouldn't be accepted. Example, once it became clear that 100% they were going to fight, Zuhair told Imam Hussein, he's like, right now, we're going to have a war regardless, correct? Yes. Right now, if we attack early, we have more of a chance of defeating these guys. Imam Hussein told Zuhair, he said, I'm operating on a higher principle. I refuse to be the first one to start the war. Zuhair didn't get dismayed. I offered the Imam my opinion. He accepted. And he didn't get gun shy. Where else? On the day of Ashura, Zuhair asked for permission. So remember, our Imam, he did the clarification jihad. Our Imam is trying to save even one person from the army of Umar bin Sa'd. Even one person. Clarification jihad. Conversations. The Imam gave his khutbah. The first of the companions to volunteer, please, Abu Abdullah, give me a chance to speak on your behalf, to talk to these guys. Maybe somebody will change, was Zuhair. The Imam gave him permission. Zuhair went out there. I'm from Kufa. These people know me. This is my chance. Maybe I can save someone. Zuhair went and he started to address the army. They mocked Zuhair, called names, threatened him with physical violence. He's giving his khutbah. Shimr fires an arrow at him. After a while of speaking, Imam Hussein calls him back. Not that the Imam didn't appreciate what he did. He did appreciate what he did. Then the Imam sent Burair, another companion. Zuhair, you did a good job. Come back. Did he lose his edge? No. Zuhair still. No fear of failure from this man. When the war first started, again Zuhair, when the battle first started, Umar bin Sa'd sent 2 slaves out to fight hand-to-hand combat. 2 slaves, tough guys. They came out, they said, we want to fight somebody. One of the companions, he stood up. This man, his name was, salawat please. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Abdullah bin Umair. We're talking about the first shaheed of Karbala. Abdullah bin Umair. Abu Wahab. So he came out, big man, ready to fight. They said, who are you? He identified himself. They said, we don't know you. We want Zuhair. We have an axe to grind with that man. Zuhair, he got called out by name. Zuhair didn't back down from the challenge. Zuhair strolled right out there. I'll take on 2 guys. Let's go. The Imam told him. He said, Zuhair, I want Abu Wahab to take care of this. Zuhair listened, came back, sat down. Because of his never say die attitude, Zuhair, never say die attitude, none of these things broke him, no. We see that he got his first action early on the day of Ashura. When Shimr attempted to attack the camp of Abu Abdullah, then Zuhair was over there and responded. Zuhair, we see him as a commander of one side of the Imam's army, Zuhair. We also see Zuhair that never say die attitude. Who will stand in front of me? I need 2 of you to stand in front of me. Never say die attitude. Zuhair stands. Don't you know, Zuhair, the same individual, none of the past, I made a mistake, I wasn't the best, none of that stopped him. Don't you know he took 2 arrows in his blessed body? And then after that, then he went over and then he fought for the Imam. And he was rewarded too. Imam Hussein came over to him and he made that special dua for Zuhair. So we see, brothers and sisters, the idea of it doesn't matter if I make some small mistake. We see that in Karbala. Now, how do we help our children to get this attitude? How do we help our children to heal? How do we help ourselves to heal to do this thing? So, brothers and sisters, I talked about the idea of setting the children free, allowing them to experiment for the first 7 years. Brothers and sisters, if you notice your child has anxiety, the answer isn't to mock the person for their anxiety. Be a man! That's not the way to make somebody humiliate the person. Instead, let's learn from the mothers in Ashura. The mothers in Ashura encourage the bravery of their sons. For you mothers, you play a very unique role in encouraging your children to be brave. When you see them standing up for the truth, trying, although they're anxious, although they're nervous, when they hear from their mother how proud you are, those encouraging words go a long way. The father's the same thing. We're all not naturally brave in that way. Some of us are a little bit more anxious. When you believe in me, when you make dua for me, it makes a huge difference. The fathers play a unique role in the tarbiyah of their children. Their conversations are very valuable. Sometimes as a father, you may tell your child, well, I used to be anxious. I used to be nervous. You're having those conversations, but your dua goes a long way. We're told in the hadith that the dua of a father, so imagine now, a father who's concerned about the tarbiyah of his children. Not only do I provide for them, if I see a weakness, an area of development, I'm there, just like the mom, to put that effort in. A father who places important, we're told the dua of a father for his children is like that of a nabi for his ummah. More than that, brothers and sisters, if any of your parents are still alive, if your father's alive, get him to make dua for you. Imam Sadiq says, there are 3 duas that are not blocked from the heavens. 3 duas. If you can get your father to a state where he's really pleased for you and he makes a dua for you from the bottom of his heart, it's one of those 3 duas. The Imam says this, dua al-walid li-waladihi idha barrahu. When a father prays for his child, the child did something. The father is so happy, jazakumullah khairan. From the bottom of his heart, he prays for that child, it changes that child's direction. Brothers and sisters, you and I, another thing we want to do for our children to be brave and for ourselves to be brave, in addition to those ayat, are role models. When you and I introduce the shuhada to our children at an early age, shuhada, individuals who are just like you and I, when you introduce Imam Khomeini, that a human being can actually do these things under incredible circumstances, role models make a huge difference. Once, Imam Khomeini, this was in the time of the Shah. I've told brothers and sisters about the time and the beginning of the revolution, before everything, when the Shah had his goons attack the Hawza called Faydiyya. His goons poured in there, they destroyed those students. A lot of people were broken. Imam Khomeini got those guys. Imam Khomeini wrote a letter that was later going to be published and spread all over Iran, where he would go after the head of the snake. And he would say what it means to love the Shah. What does that mean? Imam Khomeini wrote that, it's famous. When he wrote that, he shared it with his inner circle. When the inner circle heard the letter, some of them, their faces changed. They said, you mentioned the Shah by name. That's dangerous. That's poking the bear. You know what Imam Khomeini said? They said, first of all, you could see the determination on Imam Khomeini's face. Imam Khomeini's answer was a verse of Quran. Qul, Imam Khomeini quoted this verse, 951. Qul, lan yusibana illa ma kataballahu lana. Nothing's going to happen except what Allah has written for us. He said, whatever Allah wants, that's going to happen. Do your jobs. These kind of brave individuals, learning about them, admiring them, also is something that helps us change. Brothers and sisters, conversations are important as well. Conversations. Whether it's conversations about the idea that sometimes people make mistakes, whether it's conversations about being brave, whether it's conversations, Allah has your back, conversations, talking to our children. One of the things that we'll notice is that some people feel when somebody's really scared, really nervous, this isn't the time, I shouldn't bring up God. When you and I, when we have conversations, let me just leave it in the words of Imam Hussein. Imam Hussein, when he bids his last farewell, for context, all of the Ashab have been slaughtered. All of the Ahlul Bayt have been slaughtered. The Imam comes back to see the family to bid farewell. So the Imam is bleeding. They're facing an army of savages, 30,000 people. They've just seen everyone obliterated. Now, what were you going to tell these women and children so that they can calm down and be brave in that situation? What was the things that the Imam did? The Imam did several very interesting things. One of the things that the Imam did was he didn't gaslight them. Ista'iddu lil bala. Get ready. It's coming. Get ready. Mentally prepare your children. We can handle ourselves a lot better when we're mentally prepared for what's coming our way. The Imam mentally prepares them. What else does the Imam do? He reminds them, you don't have any support. The Imam, you can look up the khutbah later. The Imam reminds them, Allah is your protector. Don't talk to me about God, I'm nervous. The Imam, Allah is your protector. What else did the Imam say? He said, He's going to save you. It's going to work out in your favor. God's going to destroy your enemies. God will reward you. And then he gave strategic advice. The Imam knows they're going to face a very tough situation. The Imam tells them, because he knows the ajr that they're getting right now. He said this, make sure that you don't complain. Sometimes when we go through great difficulties, maybe unknowingly, maybe unwittingly, our relationship with Allah gets bitter. Don't get bitter with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't say anything that would reduce your status with God. So we see the Imam talking to his family. Now, brothers and sisters, we also want to learn, and we're getting now close to the Karbala portion of the program. This last part, inshallah, we're going to Karbala. The other thing that we want to do, again learning from Abu Abdullah, is this. We want to raise our children in such a way that for them, their focus is the truth. Doing what God said. Doing it right. Not results. We're not going to beat our kids up so much that if you don't get the results, did you put in the effort? Did you try? Are you on the right side? If you did that, God's good. We see this in that young man of Abu Abdullah. His father has that dream. What's going on? He says the meaning of the dream. We're all going to die. Ali Akbar has one question. He said, but aren't we on the right path? He said, we're on the right path. He said, then la nubali bil maut. That the rest is unimportant then. A child who's trained in the Karbala'i way. Am I doing my responsibility? Am I doing what God said? The results, I'll live with them. So what happens is, you and I, a child who's trained in the right way, is a child who sees every experience, good or bad. Why can you make mistakes? Why can you trust again? Why do you keep trying? Why did that particular defeat not break you? Why didn't it make you bitter with Allah? Because this child remembers that, as the hadith of the Ahlul Bayt say, in every experience there is admonition. In every experience, everything that I go through, there's admonition. There's a lesson Allah's trying to teach me. Sometimes what seems to be a defeat is actually Allah working on my side. The verse of Quran is this, فَعَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرَهُ شَيْئًا. Maybe you dislike something. وَيَجْعَلَ اللَّهُ فِيهِ خَيْرًا كَثِيرًا. But Allah has put a lot of good in it. We end with salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد. I ask the dear brothers, please move towards the front and fill in these gaps and warm the majlis of Abu Abdullah with 3 loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم والعن أعداءهم من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك توعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. All together يا ابن الحسن يا ابن الحسن يا ابن الحسن. O hidden guide, in your shadow we reside. With every tear we call you to our side. Our hearts are weary, yearning for your light. In endless nights we seek your beacon bright. Ya ibn al-Hasan, Ya ibn al-Hasan, Ya ibn O Mahdi, come and heal this broken land. With justice spread by your righteous hand. In whispered prayers our hopes and dreams align. Beloved Imam, make your presence our sign. Ya ibn al-Hasan, Ya ibn al-Hasan, Ya ibn Tonight is the 8th night of Muharram. I can't believe these nights are almost over. Let's take our hearts to Karbala. In Karbala's heat, under the burning sky, a youth stood tall, his head held high. Ali al-Akbar, reflection of the Prophet's grace, in every feature a familiar face. When the companions had fallen, left to die, Ali approached Hussein with a determined sigh. خرج علي بن الحسين عليه السلام. It's Ali al-Akbar now. Ali al-Akbar came out of the tent. وكان من أسبح الناس وجها وأحسنهم خلقا. Ali al-Akbar was the most handsome and well-mannered among the people. Father, Father, grant me leave to fight this fight. Hussein's eyes dimmed, void of light. The narration says, فَاسْتَأْذَنَ أَبُوهُ فِي الْقِتَالِ فَأَذِنَ لَهُ. As soon as he asked the Imam for permission, he accepted. ثُمَّ نَذَرَ إِلَيْهِ نَذَرَ آيَسٍ مِّنْ. When the Imam looked towards Ali al-Akbar, he looked at him with a look of despair. وَأَرْخَى عَيْنَيْهِ وَبَكَى. Tears began flowing in the eyes of the Imam. Ya Hussein, these are your final soldiers. Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein. The women wept, their hearts so torn. Stay with us, Ali, we are forlorn. Their voices trembled, hearts filled with dread. Your absence leaves us utterly dead. The narration says, لما توجه إلى الحرب. When Ali al-Akbar started getting ready for the battle, اجتمعت النساء حوله كالحلقة. The women gathered around him, they encircled him. They don't want him to go. What are they saying? Ya Ali, irham ghurbatana. Oh Ali al-Akbar, have mercy on our loneliness. Have mercy on our loneliness. وَلَا تَسْتَعْجِلْ إِلَى الْقِتَالِ. Don't hurry towards the battlefield. فإنه ليس لنا طاقة في فراقك. Indeed, we cannot endure separation from you. But Ali, determined, his path was clear. To fight for truth, he showed no fear. As Ali is leaving to the battle, Imam Hussein called out, Allahumma ashhad, فقد برز إليهم غلام أشبه الناس خلقا وخلقا ومنطقا برسولك. Oh Allah, bear witness, this is a young man who went towards the enemy, who was the most similar to your Prophet in his face, in his character, in his speech. وَكُنَّا إِذَا اشْتَغْنَا إِلَى نَبِيِّكَ نَذَرْنَا إِلَيْكَ. Whenever we missed your Prophet, we would look towards Ali al-Akbar. Into battle he rode like a warrior bold. his courage a story eternally told. The enemy quivered at his side, yet fate drew near in the heat of the fight. He fought with the strength of 10,000 men, but weariness struck, and then again, until a moment came, piercing the air. Oh Father, farewell beyond despair. فنادى يا أبتاه عليك السلام، هذا جدي يغرق السلام. Oh Father, I am leaving. I see my grandfather رسول الله ويقول لك عجل القدوم إلينا. He is saying, oh Hussein, we are waiting for you. Come towards us faster. Ya Hussein, I see my grandfather, the Prophet's embrace. He says, oh Hussein, towards us make haste. Imam Hussein rushed to his fallen son, a life so precious, now nearly done. Brothers and sisters, do you want to know what they did to Ali al-Akbar? When Imam Hussein sent Ali al-Akbar to the battlefield, he was like a flower. But may I be sacrificed for you. The flower petals were spread all over the battlefield. The narration says, وَخَرَجَتْ زَيْنَبُ بِنْتُ عَلِي تُنَادِي يَا حَبِيبًا يَا ابْنَ أَخَاهِ. Lady Zainab ran out of the tent. She's calling, oh my beloved, oh my nephew, oh youth of Bani Hashim, come near, help me bring Ali to the tent here. God knows my strength is all but spent to bring Ali back to the tent. O youth of Bani Hashim, come near, help me bring Ali to the tent here. God knows my strength is all but spent to bring Ali back to the tent. Sallallahu alayka ya Aba Abdullah وعلى الأرواح التي هلت بفنائك عليكم مني جميعا سلام الله أبدا ما بغيت وبغي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. السلام عليكم يا أهل بيت النبوة جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. يا حسين 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 يا حسين. I'm the fruit of the Prophet's tree, standing with courage, brave and free. For Hussein my life I will give, to uphold truth and dignity. With every breath I fight for truth, I face my fate in steadfast youth. With every breath I fight for truth, I face my fate in steadfast youth. لا أرى الموت إلا السعادة، لا أرى الموت إلا السعادة، لا حياة إلا الشهادة. لا أرى الموت لا أرى الموت إلا السعادة، لا حياة while in my blood I am immersed. Look who has come to quench my thirst. He is saying, come fast, Hussein. Father, I made it to him first. From your lips his words I can hear. I'll join you soon upon the sphere. From your lips his words I can hear. I'll join you soon upon the sphere. لا أرى الموت إلا السعادة، لا أرى الموت لا حياة إلا الشهادة، لا حياة إلا الشهادة. لا أرى الموت لا أرى
إلا السعادة، لا حياة إلا الشهادة، لا حياة إلا الشهادة. لا أرى الموت إلا السعادة، لا أرى الموت إلا السعادة، لا حياة إلا الشهادة، لا حياة. هذا يا حسين 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 يا حسين. Oh my Ali Akbar, oh my Ali Akbar. This is what his mother used to cry, hugging his body. This is what his mother used to cry, hugging his body. Oh my Ali Akbar, oh my Ali Akbar, oh my Ali Akbar, oh my Ali Akbar, oh my Ali Akbar. This is what his mother used to cry, hugging his body. Oh my Ali Akbar, oh oh my Ali Akbar, oh my Akbar. When you fell as a child, I would scream out in so much pain. Today I see you drowned in your blood, my son, you are slain. Come back to your mother, oh my Ali Akbar, oh my Ali Akbar, oh. But your father in your grief has now lost all of his vision. He's stumbling and crying to you, call me to you, my son. All I see is a blur. Oh my Ali Akbar, oh my Ali Akbar, oh my. Why have you got your hand on your chest, oh my beloved? I know that the spear deep inside your heart has embedded. Show me where you are hurt, oh my Ali Akbar, oh Akbar, oh my Ali Akbar. As you move your hands, you shake and scream out in so much pain. You are trying so hard, but the pain cannot be contained. I'll take out this spear, oh my Ali Akbar, oh my, oh my Ali Akbar. Just look in my eyes, I will protect you, this I promise. I pull on the spear facing Najaf, saying, "O Ali, help me, O my father, O my Ali Akbar, O my, oh my Ali Akbar, my love, oh my heart, how can I show you all of my pain? I'll never be able to see your smiling face again. Come back to me, dear, oh my Ali Akbar, oh my Ali Akbar, oh my Ali Akbar. A father was made to see his son writhing on the sand, a spear in his chest and the wound covered by his hand. The heart of the father, the heart of this mother, oh my Ali Akbar, oh my Ali Akbar, oh my Ali Akbar, oh my Ali Akbar. Ya Hussein, 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 Ya Hussein. O Lion of Karbala, O Lion of Karbala, O Lion of Karbala, O Lion of Karbala, O Rose of Mother Layla, O Lion of Karbala, O Rose of Mother Layla, the mirror of Mustafa, O Ali Akbar of Hussein, O Ali Akbar Hussein, O Ali Akbar of Hussein, O Ali of Hussein, oh Ali Akbar of Hussein, oh Ali Akbar. Hussein, oh Ali Akbar of Hussein, oh Ali. Hussein, oh Ali Akbar of Hussein, oh Ali Akbar of Hussein. O line of Karbala, O line of Karbala, O rose of Mother Layla, the mirror of Mustafa, O Ali Akbar of Hussein, O Ali Akbar. Hussein, oh Ali Akbar of Hussein, oh Ali Akbar. Hussein, oh Ali Akbar of Hussein. Akbar of Hussein, oh Ali Akbar of Hussein. Hussein, oh breath of our Hussein. Oh breath of our Hussein, beloved of our Hussein. Oh breath of our Hussein, beloved of our Hussein. Luminous night of Hussein, luminous night of Hussein. Oh Ali Akbar of Hussein, oh Ali Akbar of Hussein, oh Ali Akbar of Hussein, oh Ali Hussein, oh Ali Akbar of Hussein. Ali Akbar of Hussein, oh Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein. Oh, first of the Hashimiyun, first of the Hashimiyun, first of the Hashimiyun, warrior of Haydariyun, first of the Hashimiyun, warrior of Haydariyun, defender of Fatimiyun, warrior of Haydariyun, defender of Fatimiyun, first of the Hashimiyun, warrior of Haydariyun, defender of Fatimiyun. Oh Ali Akbar of Hussein, oh Ali of Hussein, oh Ali Akbar of Hussein, oh Ali Akbar Hussein, oh Ali Akbar of Hussein. Keep looking back to Father. Keep looking back to Father. Keep looking back to Father. Fight like my father Haydar. Keep looking back to Father. Fight like my father Haydar. Keep looking back to Father. Fight like my father Haydar. You were taught by your uncle. Keep looking back to Father. Fight like my father Haydar. You were taught by your uncle. Oh Ali Akbar of Hussein, Akbar of Hussein, oh Ali Akbar of Hussein, Hussein, oh Ali Akbar of Hussein, Akbar of Ya Hussein, 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 Ya Hussein. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إلهي عظم البلاء وبرح الخفاء وانكشف الغطاء وانقطع الرجاء وضاقت الأرض ومنعت السماء وأنت المستعان وإليك المشتكى وعليك المعول في الشدة والرخاء. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد أولي الأمر الذين فرضت علينا طاعتهم وعرفتنا بذلك منزلتهم، ففرج عنا بحقهم فرجا عاجلا قريبا كلمح البصر أو هو أقرب. يا محمد يا علي يا علي اكفياني فإنكما كافيان، وانصراني فإنكما ناصران. يا مولانا يا صاحب الزمان، الغوث الغوث الغوث، أدركني 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 الساعة الساعة الساعة، العجل العجل العجل. يا أرحم الراحمين بحق محمد وآله الطاهرين.
صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
صل على
Thank you, brothers and sisters, for joining us. Inshallah, we look forward to seeing you all tomorrow, inshallah, at the same time. Doors open at 6:45, inshallah. Ala Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad.
My body's broken, my heart is torn. My body's broken, my heart is torn. I'm not